Welcome back to Appropriations 101. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the Agricultural Appropriations Bill. We have with us Chairman Andy Harris from the great state of Maryland. Now it's interesting, Andy, that in the West we sometimes think all agriculture is in the West, and I will have people say, why do we have a chairman from Maryland? They forget that a lot of agriculture is in the East Coast, whether it's in Maryland or New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Agriculture is big in your district too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your district?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, I represent mainly the eastern shore of Maryland. The eastern shore of Maryland is nice, flat, good growing country. We grow grain to feed our chickens. We're one of the largest poultry producing districts in the nation. And so again, it combines all the basic things that you need in agriculture. You need to grow food, and we grow livestock as well.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you here today, and thanks for joining us. As I said, he is chairman of the Agricultural Appropriations Committee. The agricultural appropriation is about 0.4%. That's like almost 0.5% of the overall spending that the federal government does. Of the discretionary spending, and we've tried to tell our people the difference between discretionary and mandatory spending. Of the discretionary spending, it's about 1.5%, 1.4% of the discretionary spending. Because I have had people say to me, you guys need to balance the budget and quit spending money. And people will say, and then I realize they're serious, well, if you just quit paying farmers, we'd probably balance the budget in a couple of years. They don't understand what discretionary spending is and where the real problem is with mandatory spending. So we decided to kind of do these videos and let people know what the 12 appropriation bills are and how little of the overall spending it really is. So anyway, tell us what's in the agricultural appropriation bill and what the challenges are you face this year.
Sure. So the agriculture appropriation bill obviously funds the U.S. Department of Agriculture other than the Forest Service. It funds the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, obviously very important to making sure that our drug and food supply is safe, and medical instruments, all the things that people should be concerned about in terms of the federal government making sure that you're going to get safe medical devices and safe food. We also fund the Commodity Futures Trading Corporation. It's a tongue twister.
Yes, it is.
But you know, a lot of our farmers depend upon commodity futures, what we call commodity futures, the ability to trade your crop at the future and to have bids placed for your crop, not even knowing how large your crop's going to be. It's very important for the farming community, but we need a federal regulator to make sure that things are run right, just like we regulate the stock market, we regulate that. That's another thing we do.
Yeah.
The thing that's important that you point about discretionary and mandatory is that the largest part of the agriculture appropriation is actually mandatory. It's the SNAP program, one of the nutrition programs. So we fund 3 nutrition programs. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program used to be called food stamps, over $100 billion a year. We fund the school lunch and breakfast programs, tens of billions of dollars a year. And the Women, Infants, and Children's Program, which is the one that is for pregnant women and women after childbirth and their infants to make sure that they get the nutrition we need. It's about $7 billion a year. That last one is the only one that's discretionary. More than 120, 130 billion is mandatory spending. We don't, we have no control over it. We have control of that small nutritional part. That's the Women, Infants, and Children's Program.
I noticed you've been, and I think this is good for all of our appropriation chairmen, we need to be looking at, are there better ways to do things? Mm-hmm. Can we deliver our services better in a cheaper way? Today in Indian Health Services, I'm looking at, is going through Indian Health Services, is that the best way to do it? Or is it better to maybe appropriate money directly to the tribes, because nobody cares for their members more than the tribe members do. So I don't know the answer to that, but we're looking at it. But I know you've been one of the innovative people trying new ideas or suggesting new ideas about how we might be able to do what we do and deliver services to our constituents better, not cutting services, just do it better than we do it.
That's right, better and more efficiently. You know, just today I had a meeting with my state's the people who run the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the food stamp program. You know, the fraud rate is about 1 to 2%, and that doesn't sound big, but in a $100 billion program, that's $1 to $2 billion.
Right.
And you know, just to find out that if we could go, for instance, when you use your credit card most times now, you know, you're not using the swipe technology, you're using the chip technology, much more secure. Well, most people don't realize that for the SNAP program, for the food stamp program, you're using swipe technology. You're using the old one where you get the skimmers, you get the fraud. And so we're gonna look at saying, okay, let's go to the new technology because it will save us probably $1 to $2 billion a year just by going to latest technology. That everybody uses every other time, that everywhere else they go they use that, but not when they're using this federal program.
Yeah.
So it's an example of how we can go, and again, not cutting the benefit to anyone, just saying we're actually gonna deliver the service more efficiently and more accurately.
And that's, I think, what our job is. One of, I think, our primary responsibilities is oversight. And frankly, I don't think the Appropriation Committee does enough of it because we get crammed into this time frame where we don't get a president's budget, so we don't start holding hearings and everything. In my bill, I should be holding probably 25 hearings a year on various agencies in our bill. We don't have time to do them all. And we need to expand that so we can do more time and do more hearings, and I'm sure that's the same in your bill. And when you cram the time together, all of the different agencies are trying to do it at the same time. And so I can't go to some of the hearings that I should be going to. So
Yeah.
that's a challenge in our committee.
It is because the federal government's large, there are a lot of programs, it touches a lot of people,
Yeah.
and you're right, our responsibility as you know, we hold the purse strings, but just like you do in your family, or
Yeah.
just like you do in your business, you have to make certain when you're spending that money, you're spending it wisely.
Yeah.
You gotta spend it, but you're gonna spend it wisely, and that's really called oversight. You make sure that these agencies are doing what they need to, that they're delivering for the American people, in my case, mostly for the American farmers and for rural areas,
Yeah.
that they're delivering a product that's useful and efficiently delivered.
Well, thanks for joining us today to talk a little bit about the Ag Appropriation Bill. Introduce yourself. This is Dr. Harris, I should have said when I introduced him.
Dr. Simpson?
Yeah, but he is, as you can tell, one of the smartest guys in Congress and does a great job, and we're proud to have him as one of the cardinals of the Appropriations Committee and always challenging us to do better than we're doing. So I appreciate it, and Maryland crab cakes, best in the world. So
They are. Nice
they
to
are. And I should say, you know, when people out west don't think Maryland and stuff is they wonder why we have a chairman from Maryland on the Ag Committee and stuff. I need to increase your creds a little bit. So I want to give you something here.
Okay.
This is an Idaho potato tie.
Oh.
And you wear that and it will increase your creds with the agricultural community across the board.
It will go right with my Maryland chicken tie.
I appreciate it. Thanks for being with us
Thank
today.
you.